All right.
Hey guys, welcome back.
2,200 and going up.
Yes.
Thank you so much for those donating to this cause and participating in this event. And
Yes.
we have a new face here.
Yes.
We want
Welcome,
to
Jill.
introduce you. Jill Jones.
So happy to
Jill
be here.
Jones, Jill Jones, welcome. And
Thank you.
we're going to talk a little bit about mission trips.
Mm.
What mission trips are all about, just in general, and with us as Mission Life, and what do we do? How do we prepare for a mission trip? What this year look like with mission trips, and what are we looking to do moving forward? Right, we have some cool plans, but we have a couple of stories. You know, through mission trips, what I found is that you go and help, or at least that's what you think. I'm gonna go and help this community and change the life of this people and bring some resources, or we're gonna help build a school, or we're gonna go and help build a church, or just whatever the case is, right? And what you find is when you get there, and all through the time you're working with these people in these communities, and you get back, and you receive more than what you gave.
Yeah.
You get so much more. It's just so enriching. It's a type of experience that you cannot describe it unless you go through it, or you live it, or you're. So I wanna introduce again Jill Jones. She's been on our trips to Colombia. And Greg also, and there are a couple of testimonies we would love to hear.
So as Angel said, it's hard to put in words if you don't go. It's even harder, I think, when you do go to put that experience.
You don't
in
want
words.
to come back.
We're gonna try to do our best to share our stories and the impact it makes in our life, and the ripple effect of what a trip can do in your life. And so before we get to Jill, I want to share my story, but it all starts with Jill. So we're going to come to her story too. So a year and a half ago, I was invited to a luncheon with our dear friends Jill and Evan Jones as an opportunity to be a consultant with Mission Life and to do marketing work with them and to help them. That's been my full-time business at the time. And I said, absolutely, let's connect, let's grab lunch. And she brought up this opportunity about Mission Life and how she just got back from a trip, and they're looking for help in this department of the organization. I said, okay, let's talk more, learn more about them. I said, yeah, I'd love to meet the founder, I'd love to meet the heart behind Mission Life and the gentleman who's running it. And from there we said, yes, let's set up a meeting. But that same luncheon, Jill had the bravery to also ask me and bring up trips too. And at that time, she didn't know my wife was pregnant at the time with our first baby. And so, you know, I was sitting there across the table from Jill and just saying, okay, you know, this is an opportunity of a lifetime, A, to not only work with them, but B, to go on a trip with them too. And little did she know we left that lunch, and I said yes to both after my wife's approval, of course. And she said, this is an opportunity of a lifetime. You have to go. And so I knew what it meant that in October of that year, when we were going to be departing, she'd be 9 months along, or so, no, like 6 months along. And so it was you needed that blessing, right, of somebody to say, yes, you need to go. I needed that push. And so that was the moment coming off of Jill's trip, and we'll get to that point, that led to me saying yes. And so from there, learning about Mission Life, diving in, working with them for several months, also being a part of the trip preparation with our team during those 6 months. In October, we got to go to Colombia. And from there, it all changed.
And it's from that moment, from the moment you say yes, right, of that calling, or that tugging, right, I call it poking the bear, like you've got to go. We have to go and experience these things. It's from that moment that things just start working in your heart and your mind, and you start preparing yourself to what is going to happen. Is there any expectations? How am I going to react to the food? Which this guy just he reacted to.
That was a good part of the experience for sure. Yeah,
you know, I'll give him clothes but no food. And all through the process to get there, it's just it is transformational.
Yeah,
transformational.
Yeah, and I went down with a completely open mind. Right, I'm like, you know, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I'm just going to go down, and we prepared just when you go down just to serve. do whatever is asked of you when you're down there. And, it could be just helping, it could be just hanging out, it could be just being with a child for a little bit of time. But through that work down there and through several experiences during the week, God basically broke me and broke me down, and it was emotional. There was several moments where I didn't know what I was feeling. I didn't know how to express what I was feeling.
I saw it.
Angel was there to be a person to embrace.
This guy looked like a marshmallow.
I had a really good friend with me too, Josh Cake, who said yes to go on the trip too, and I was able to have people there around me to support me during that moment because it was life-changing. And I heard from God during that week, and he pointed back to all of those things leading up to that trip that was just amazing. And so
I love that.
I
love that.
You sometimes you have to have that pause, that break. He's gonna halt something in your life to say, listen, this is something to mark that says all the things in your life leading up to now meant something.
It's a roller coaster of emotion. So you get to this country that you have little knowledge of, right? And you don't know the language, you don't know the culture. I mean, we do training prior to getting there, but then you have no expectations, and you get there excited and ready to work. We do construction, we do community service, we go to schools, we spend time with the children, and you get all these activities, and day in and day out, you're just exhausted, right? Of a full day of walking around, playing, building, just all these things, and suddenly you get this spiritual uplift, right? This emotions, everything, and to start the next day and go all over again. It just...
Jen commented, she said, once you go, you leave your heart with the people in the community. It's so true.
That's, what I wanted to share. One of the things that I love about mission trips, and I say it as experience, right? Immigrating to the United States when I was 18 years old, is coming to a new culture and submerging yourself into it and getting to love everything about that culture and becoming one. And what I seen in a short-term mission trip, it takes a week, it takes a couple of days for you to have that love. Which was so, for me, it was just mind-blowing because I've been here. This is my home. And I love it. Like, this is my home. And so Colombia is always going to be that home where I was born and raised, right? That's motherland. But when I bring a group of people there and they come back after just 1 week or 10 days and they're in love with it and so changed by the culture, the food, the people, just everything, the food, of course, because my goodness, and see their transformation and wanted to get back and wanted to just do as much as they can to influence this community with that love.
And you fall in love, whether you're a volunteer with Mission Life or you come as just a guest and attendee just to do a mission trip with us together, you fall in love with what we're doing together with our partners. And that's where you come back and you're like, I just want, how can I do more? How can I work with, keep doing something to benefit this program? Because it's amazing. Because you're there at the child center with the kids, helping the programs. And that's where, your story starts. So, that's where you came back on a luncheon and shared with me your experience. You were just like on cloud 9 coming back that spring. So tell people about your experience being on a mission trip.
Yeah, so I went about a year and a half ago to Colombia for the first time. It was my first missions trip since I was like 17. And it was under the umbrella of our church. And
Manchester Christian Church.
Yeah.
Woo, woo.
And Angel was the leader. And now Angel was just in the early stages of developing Mission Life, and he had a dream for us to take our own trips to Colombia. So that I didn't know about at the time, but while we were in Colombia, I of course went through the same experience of just being broken, like the best kind of broken.
Yeah, it is.
And the great thing was I didn't really know what to expect. You don't know. They try to tell you.
But you didn't even think you were going to go to Colombia. Remember? You shared that story. You didn't think you were going to go to Colombia.
No, that's
You
right.
were
I thought I was
preparing
going to go to a
somewhere
different
else.
country, and I got to there was like an introductory meeting, and Angel was there along with several leaders that were going to other countries, and there was just like, I just got this strong sense saying, you need to go with Angel's team. So,
That's such a great story.
so we got there. We were there for several days, and we were interacting with the kids at Forma Vida. And there were still some kids up for sponsorship. And I had, by about Wednesday, I'm like, I know I want to sponsor someone. Yeah. So, Lord, who do you want me to sponsor? And the beautiful thing was I got to kind of choose from someone I'd actually already met. Huh. And so that Wednesday night I was scrolling through all the kids that were available and praying. And this one girl, 15-year-old girl, Andreina, I was like, she's the one. And so I did the paperwork filled out the form online and to sponsor her. And a couple of days later, all the kids were gathered in this room at Forma Vida, and she was sitting at a table, and Angel's like, Jill, is that your girl? And I said, yes. And so he spoke to her in Spanish and told her that I was her madrina. And her face just lit up because it's a big deal for kids to get sponsored. Yes. You know, it's like that's just that's just really special to them. So she jumped up and hugged me and was saying thank you. And then we spent the next couple of hours using my limited Spanish, Google Translate, and one of our other teammates to just get to know her and develop a friendship and. It was.
Namir's on here giving you a bunch of love too.
Namir.
Hey, Namir.
Yeah. Which is so hard because when you are in one of these countries, right? We get to one of the centers, and what makes us different with mission trips is you get to spend time the entire week, the entire 10 days with your sponsored child. Yeah. Because our partners in Colombia, in Guatemala, in Rwanda, the way we set it up is for us to go and work directly with them. So every day we plan activities, we plan Bible studies and devotional time and games and sports and bazaar and eating and dancing and eating again and
there's a theme here.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about you, but and you get to spend time with these kids and here's the thing, right? Forget about what you're going through, right? When you see these kids stepping into one of the community centers, their faces, their lives, their love, their generosity, the way they embrace you, the way they just receive you with open arms and love you, and it's hard for you to just pick one. You just want to sponsor them all.
I think almost everybody who I've heard attend a trip, they say, I didn't realize the kids would be that joyful.
Yes.
They love the environment. They love the support they get. They love being at the child centers because of what it is and the support they get and the programs, the games, the activities. It's engaged for them to be an after-school place, a safe place for them to go after school. Yeah. And we get to be a part of that experience during the week when we're there.
They certainly know how to share that love. Yeah. And they will let you know. They'll let you know. And they will joke with you. They'll, I mean... So here's the thing about in Colombia with the children is when you're standing around and talking, if they're not like picking on you, or that means you're not part of the pack yet. It's when they start laughing and making fun and stuff in a good way. Right. That's when you know, all right, they made you part of the family. Yeah. And it's just so great, so great. So let's talk a little bit about what this year. What it looked like with mission trips, you know, because of the pandemic, it was not safe to travel, and countries were just in lockdown, so we were not able to go and visit. Which it just, I mean, I have this ache to go back, and like I need to go back. Right. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but
this year so when I came back from Colombia a year and a half ago, I told Angel, I need to be involved. You got to find a slot for me. I have to go back, and I need to be involved with Mission Life. And then it all worked into me becoming one of the trip coordinators. So I work with Lisa. Hey, Lisa, if you're on there. She and I work together to coordinate trips, and we did our first official Mission Life trip to Colombia last October, a year
How
ago.
many people we brought?
There was 8 of us.
8.
Yep.
Okay.
Nice small group.
That was our
and
first.
it was spectacular.
Can I share something?
Yeah.
Growing up in Colombia and living here for so many years and being able to go back for the first time with a group of people willing to love and to give back to that community that so many grew up. That was the most special moment. One of the most special moments in this whole mission life experience. You know, it was very special. So, but yeah.
So you guys have been we worked on plans for different trips this year, and then it all kind of went to halt, right?
Yeah, we have to cancel all of our trips.
But I felt like it was a blessing in disguise, right? You guys, the trip team's leaders took some time and reevaluated the whole idea of a trip, right? So share with...
Well, we haven't stopped. And actually, this opened up the opportunity for us to create a similar experience in a more virtual type of way, which we're still working on and see what that would look like. But it would allow us to give people who perhaps don't have the option to travel international, to go into a mission trip, but to have the feel and to interact and and just to connect with everything, the culture, the I guess the issues of the community and how can they help and so forth. Right. So that's been quite an adventure.
Yeah. So if you always want to go on a mission trip, but you're not sure what to expect, you don't know if that's something you'd want to do, this would be a great opportunity because you could get a sensing. It would be kind of like pre-training, and you could see the places where we go because we'll have lots of videos. And
pre-training, which isn't that's another thing.
Another big piece that you guys have been working on.
Another thing we have been very intentional this year in particular. We just sat back and said, you know what? How can we make this better? How can we make this more impactful? Right? We saw the ripple effect. You guys are witness of this, and coming back and wanted to be part of Mission Life and be part of helping here in our community how to connect with others, how to connect other families with their children. And so we started thinking, okay, we got to develop a training that will give every single person in that trip the tools to explore, to seek that purpose, right? What is the purpose of us going there? And how is it that God is calling us to come back and do something with that experience to help people here, to help us?
Because every single time when you guys did the debrief, right? You come back from a trip, and I went on trips when I was a kid too, and so when you come back from a trip, you're so full and empty at the same point. You're not sure what to do, but you know you need to do something. You know that you're inspired to do more. And I think what you guys have been building and working on is giving somebody direction when they come home. What can I do with what I just experienced to either move something forward, in my current situation, or how can I go and volunteer my place? How can I go and serve at my church more? Like, how can I get more involved? And we guide people to come back equipped at their place of church or at their place of business. And
that was perfect. That was perfect. That's exactly the intention of this type of training. In a way, we're looking to build disciples. So when we partner, we have churches here in our region that we partner with to bring missionaries to these trips. And the idea of this whole training is to give them the tools and the understanding and the discernment and just that empowerment to find that purpose. So when they come back, they're so eager to be involved with their church, with the community. What can we do? How can we help? How can we just go and serve here, right? Because perhaps you're not going to go every year on a mission trip, but we are here. Yes. This is our field too.
That was one of the big questions I got. Like, why do you need to go abroad to make an impact, right? And when you look at this holistic ripple effect of what happens doing that and coming back and then sharing your experience, the impact here is greater, as we talked about, than just going. And so that's what people need to learn about that process is like it's not just about you giving and sponsoring to another country or going to another country and serving for a week. It's what happens to you and the experiences that you're able to now share for a lifetime back home in your community.
Exactly.
And we have a fun clip to show you guys right now of a few of our partners being on a trip, what to see, the children.
There's just so many different things we do on a trip.
Yeah.
It will take us a couple of hours to.
So check this video clip
check
out
it
and
out.
we'll come back.
Go surf. And what I tell everybody before we go on these trips is pack your dancing shoes, your comfy pants. It's gonna be dancing and eating, and it's just as you see. There's just a lot of activities. We focus on the children, right? We focus on doing Bible studies. Spending time with them every day to share the Word of God and how our experience in our lives and how God has impacted our lives and have the opportunity to just leave something in their lives to help them continue to seek their purpose, right? Because I can say that for myself, and I think you guys have a great example as well, is when you find purpose, everything else makes sense. And so that's what we try to do when we go together. And construction is another thing too, right? Because it involves the people in those communities, helping families. You saw we actually last year with that trip, one of the trips we did with Manchester Christian Church, we were able to gather funds and help a family of a woman who was battling cancer. And I just want to say shout out to her family, Martica, rest in peace. She a family of 5 kids, and their condition wasn't, I guess, the easiest one that you might think. And we were able to provide them with a home, so that whether she was going to win or lose that battle, she was going to go in peace knowing that their kids were going to stay at a home. They were not going to be on the streets. And that was such a blessing to do. So we do construction, we do school visits, the whole community. I mean, it's just...
It's very involved. I mean, the partners are so aligned with the vision together. And so our partners are so involved in their community. We're pointing towards the exact same goal. And so, our next segment after this that we're going to introduce you guys to is introducing you to our partners, Teo and Lucy, and the hearts behind those partners in those different countries.
And feel free to reach out,
Yes.
right? So Jill.Jones at missionlifechange.org. Send me a direct message, or Greg, or type it here. If you have questions about mission trips, our website, how can you get involved? How can you start planning or thinking or praying about whether you should be going on a trip or anything like that? Next year, we are, once it's safe to travel, we have plans. We're going back to Rwanda. We're going back to Guatemala. And, of course, we're going back to Colombia. So please, any questions, any comments, they're welcome. And
yes,
I just want to throw out there real quick that one of the things that we're very sensitive to is that when we go to these centers, that we're not taking jobs from the locals, especially in Colombia. There are a lot of refugees from Venezuela, and if we were to go in there and start doing their work, that's doing more harm than good. And so in anything that we do, we're coming alongside, we're providing materials. So when you actually pay for a trip, a portion of your funds goes toward a building project or whatever the current project is. But know that we're not trying to come in and just we're not just going in and like painting a church just for something to do.
Yes.
That we're coming alongside and providing support in any way that we can. Yeah. And they know that when we get there, the leaders of the organizations, that they're the boss, and we're just doing whatever we're told.
Hi, Brenda. Brenda from Kigali, one of the translators at our centers. Hi. Congratulations on your new baby.
Yeah. So join us at 12 o'clock. We're going to come back and have a mini trip. We're going to come to a mini trip. We're going to bring you down to Colombia, bring you over to Rwanda, meet our partners. We're going to have some fun.
A couple of our partners.
That's right.
On the field, just directly from the heart of the action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So we'll be back. See you guys soon.
See ya.
All right.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, thank you.